The Congress, from what I understand, is actually somewhat happy with what happened on the 4th of May.
Now, after both of them getting defeated, no challenge to Rahul Gandhi's leadership within India Alliance. It's like a team which has become weak. Other players of the team are not in a good form. So the captain looks more formidable.
The real shock result of this election is Tamil Nadu. A lot of people have called this India's first Gen Z election.
Among the urban youth, the vote share for TVK is roughly in the range of 55 to 60%. 6 out of 10 youth in that age group have actually voted for TVK.
If you look at Mamata Banerjee, I think one of the solutions she thought was welfare.
A party cannot keep winning election only because of the welfare schemes which they have doled out. It works like an icing on the cake. You need the cake first.
So do you think this, quote unquote secular model of actually getting a lot of Muslim votes and coming to power, is that now under a lot of strain?
Non-BJP parties are finding it very difficult to send out a message. BJP would go into the 2029 Lok Sabha elections with more comfort, more ease compared to what was the situation before 2024 Lok Sabha elections.
Assam, West Bengal, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. Welcome to this special election broadcast from Scroll.in, where we'll unpack the 5 election results this week with Sanjay Kumar of CSDS. Hi Sanjay, welcome to Scroll.
Good morning.
How do you unpack what has been a really big week for Indian politics this week? Is there one message that you're getting out of these 5 election results?
Very difficult to say what is the one big message out of these 5 election results. But if I have to figure out one big message, I think the message is very clear. If the government works, there is a possibility of government coming back to power, and I am referring to Assam and Puducherry because two governments have come back to power. And if people are not satisfied with the work done by the incumbent government, they are ready to throw you out. And I am referring to the 3 states where government lost elections, the incumbent government lost election: West Bengal, Tamil Nadu and Kerala.
So you're saying basically, if I could unpack, anti-incumbency is a factor in Indian politics, but it's not a blind factor. Voters do judge performance also. So in the case of Assam, the anti-incumbency didn't work, but it did, for example, in the neighboring state of West Bengal.
See, when we speak about anti-incumbency, it is being used as if it is automatic or it is a byproduct of a government being in power for 5 years. It's not a byproduct of any government being in power for 5 years. Why I say that? Because there are governments in this country which are in power for many years. I am referring to, say, Gujarat. Now you look at Assam, 3rd time in a row. Earlier also, West Bengal left rule for 34 years. After that, Trinamool Congress ruled for 15 years. There have been other instances. If you look at, say, Odisha, Biju Patnaik's BJD ruled Odisha for 20-25 years. And don't forget Sikkim, one small state in the northeast. Sikkim Democratic Front government was also there for 20-25 years. So long rule of one party. But when does anti-incumbency creep in? I think anti-incumbency is a byproduct of people's unhappiness with the work done by the incumbent government. So if you see this election, the 5 state election, you can clearly see that there was some anti-incumbency. Some may say it's strong anti-incumbency, but there was some degree of anti-incumbency in the 3 states and pro-incumbency in the 2 states. And that is one of the core factors why we see 2 governments returning back to power and 3 governments being voted out of power. When I am referring to anti-incumbency, I would like to cite a data. Why do I say that? If you look at the decline in the vote share of Trinamool Congress in West Bengal, it's not a small decline. 8.5% decline in Trinamool Congress vote share compared to 2021 assembly election.
That's huge.
If we move to Tamil Nadu, look at how much votes DMK has lost compared to the previous assembly election, 13.5%, DMK and its allies. And if you look at Kerala, in Kerala also the LDF lost almost 7.5% votes compared to 2021 election. My own sense is that if a ruling alliance or a ruling party loses so much of vote, it can't be because of just one factor. One needs to get a sense, one needs to take a clear view. And then you will find that yes, there was some kind of an anti-incumbency against the ruling parties.
I'm glad you used Kerala. I always forget. I'm still calling it Kerala. Let us remember to call it Kerala in this broadcast. I want to dig down a little bit now into states, right? So I think there is a large consensus that West Bengal saw economic stagnation, right? There was a lot of out migration and so on, and we can dig into the data and we can, kind of rebut it on the data one way or the other. But there was a very widely held narrative that West Bengal is not doing very well economically. On the other hand, Tamil Nadu, the DMK government actually delivered blockbuster economic performance, right? We've seen, Tamil Nadu is really a model state in the Indian Union. How do you connect that with anti-incumbency? Like generally the feeling is that anti-incumbency very often is really exacerbated by economic performance. But Tamil Nadu seems to be an exception, right?
So when you are referring to good economic Tamil Nadu performing very well on economic indicator, you are comparing Tamil Nadu with other states of the country.
Right.
When we are referring to that on economic indicator, West Bengal has not been doing very well. We are also comparing West Bengal with other states. But we should also not forget that the people judge the government by their own expectations. It's not that they are looking at Tamil Nadu, comparing it with Odisha or Bihar or West Bengal, and they will feel happy that look, our government has been able to do good enough. They have been able to deliver things to us because look at on all economic indicators, Tamil Nadu is far better compared to other states. How they try to judge the performance of the government is on their own expectation and the promises which parties have made when elections took place. So yes, you are right. If you look at on all economic indicators, Tamil Nadu would be one of the top performing states. But people's expectations are also high. People expect things to be delivered by the government. That's why despite Tamil Nadu performing very well on economic indicators, people have voted the DMK government out of power.
I want to stick with Tamil Nadu for a minute there. I know West Bengal is what we're all discussing. But really, in some ways, the real shock result of this election is Tamil Nadu. We must remember the BJP was a long time opposition in West Bengal, and of course, it was defeated by the Trinamool, but it always had very good vote share, and of course, it had many other institutional factors behind it. So in a way, it's a big result, but I wouldn't call it a shock result.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Tamil Nadu is a shock result, right? We've seen the two Dravidian parties being relegated to second and third place. If I remember correctly, I think the summation of their vote shares is now less than 50% of DMK and AIDMK. We'll have to check that, but I think that is what it is when I was looking at the data. The TVK, this party has come out of nowhere on the back of a film actor, which is of course another hallowed Tamil tradition of film actors becoming huge politicians, which has followed in the footsteps of some great men, and he has now emerged as a front runner. There's a bit of confusion whether he's going to be called by the governor or not. So this is, I guess, the hurly-burly of Indian politics. Unpack the TVK for us. It is such a fascinating story. What is happening? A lot of people have called this India's first Gen Z election. Tell us more.
I think if some people are referring to first Gen Z election, if you look at the vote share or the kind of support Vijay got, his party TVK got in the urban locations. So disproportionately very high support among urban educated young youth, both men and women. Disproportionately high. Some of the data to which I have some access suggests that if you look at TVK's vote share, which is roughly about 35-36%, but among the urban youth, the vote share for TVK is roughly in the range of 55 to 60%.
And how do you define youth?
Youth 18 to 25 years of age. So if you look at the
So you're saying practically in the 18 to 25 bracket, because I want to underline this is quite an incredible bit of data that you're presenting.
6 out of 10 youth in that age group have actually voted for TVK.
That's insane. So almost 2/3 in that very young group,
Absolutely.
first-time voters, basically for all first or maximum second-time voters, they want to, almost 2/3 of young Tamils, men and women, want Vijay. Is there a gender split?
A gender split, yes. Slightly, I think, bigger proportion of young men have voted, but there is very slight difference even among the young women. And when I am referring to young women, these are again girls in the age group of 18 to 25. Even among them, a very large proportion of young girls have voted in favor of Vijay. Remember when the counting was taking place, the early trends, if you recollect, in the early trends, TVK was doing well, but DMK was doing extremely well. But when the early counting takes place from the postal ballot, and postal ballots are not casted by the young people.
Right.
All of a sudden, in the middle of the counting, the TVK tally start jumping. And we know the results now, 108 seats, they will get reduced to 107 because Vijay will have to leave one seat. He has contested from 2 seats.
Right.
So the tally will come down to 107. But all of a sudden, when the EVM started being counted, so the TVK's tally started jumping, and that was the time I started getting a hint that yes, there is a disproportionately high support base for TVK among the young, educated and urban middle class. This is what we see in the results as well. So I think it's a different moment in Tamil Nadu's politics.
Sanjay, you studied Indian elections like very few people I know. Have you ever seen a youth surge like this? Can you recall?
There are some parallels. Whether it is much higher or slightly less, we can keep debating on that. But don't forget,
Give us some of the parallels. Yeah.
Aam Aadmi Party did almost the same in 2015 and 2020 assembly elections in Delhi.
Right.
And also don't forget the Punjab assembly election where they swept the Punjab assembly elections in 2022.
No, but that's on performance. But what I'm asking you is this youth bulge, right? It seems that there is a vast difference.
I will cite one more example, which is of Assam Gan Parishad in Assam,
Right.
1985 election.
Right.
And the person who became the chief minister at that time was Prafulla Kumar Mohanta. If I remember correctly, he became the chief minister of Assam at the age of 36 years. And the entire youth had come in support of Assam Gan Parishad. Basically, Assam Gan Parishad was a party of the young
Assam movement.
a byproduct of the Assam movement. So I'm not drawing the parallels because the three examples which I gave, TVK is in front of us, Aam Aadmi Party and Assam Gan Parishad. Assam Gan Parishad was formed after big movement. The Aam Aadmi Party was formed against the backdrop of anti-corruption movement led by many people. And I do agree that in the Aam Aadmi Party, when Aam Aadmi Party was formed and before that in the movement, it was not only youth who were participating, still youths were participating in this movement in a big way. But we know who were the people who were leading the movement and who were the leaders of the movement. They would not be categorized. I would not call them I will not put them in the category of young. So TVK in that respect is different. But yes, these are other two parties which comes to my mind, which has got disproportionately high support base among the young people.
So, very good three examples. I think this is, only you can get this sort of detail in. Assam Gan Parishad and AAP are coming out of movements of different sorts. Especially the Assam movement is a huge movement. Even the Aam Aadmi Party, the anti-corruption movement is a big movement. On the other hand, TVK is not coming out of any movement.
Yeah.
So what does this youth surge represent? Is it a vote of no confidence against the Dravidian model? Is that how you would see this Dravidian model which has ruled the state since the fall of the Congress?
See, if you see the result carefully, I think it gives me an indication that people in Tamil Nadu or voters in Tamil Nadu were waiting for some kind of a third alternative. And as soon as they got a third alternative which they thought is viable alternative, not that there has never been a third alternative. There have been third alternative, but those have been very small parties having support base among different caste groups. So as soon as they saw that there is a third alternative, a promising
like a
alternative,
pan-Tamil alternative basically.
a promising alternative, and remember a young face whose face was already very widely recognized among the people of Tamil Nadu. So I think this is a sign to suggest that in many states, we have seen this in Tamil Nadu now, we have seen this happening in Delhi and Punjab, and I am again referring to the Aam Aadmi Party surge in Delhi and Punjab. So I think in many states, and people keep talking about, other states where we see a bipolarity in Indian politics for decades. So I think there is a sense among a very large number of voters in India that if there is a viable alternative, a new alternative which seems promising, they might tend to go along with that third alternative or a viable alternative. This is what seems to have happened in Tamil Nadu.
I want to go from young people to another demographic group, which is women. So, like TVK has received this bonanza young vote.
Yeah.
When we go to West Bengal, that was another unique model where Mamata Banerjee would receive the female vote. Like there would be many households, which is I think somewhat rare in India, where the vote would be divided on the lines of gender. A lot of women would vote for Mamata Banerjee for various reasons. Do you think that heuristic has broken in this election?
That has got punctured, but I still think that Mamata Banerjee got slightly higher proportion of women vote compared to the competitor BJP. But the decline in women support base for Trinamool Congress seems to be very, very large. If you look at our own data from 2021 post-poll survey suggest that in 2021 assembly election, Mamata Banerjee's lead among the women voters, which is to say, if you look at the women voters, a very large proportion of women voted in favor of Trinamool Congress. So roughly among the women, 51% of women had voted for Trinamool Congress, but among men, it was roughly in the range of 40%. So 11-12% lead for Mamata Banerjee among the women voters. That lead certainly seems to have come down. If that was not the case, Mamata Banerjee's party TMC would not have lost 8.5% votes.
What do you think has led to this attrition?
There could have been various factors, but I think one factor, safety and security of the women, young women. And a perception got created. I'm not saying that the perception was entirely wrong or right, but the perception got created that women's safety is a big question mark. There is a big question mark on women's safety in Bengal or in Calcutta. And this got created after the RG Kar hospital incident. At times what happens is that one incident becomes helps the opposition in creating a narrative. So if you look at what was happening at the time of RG Kar incident, the general impression which went among the people was that even after this incident, the ruling party were not willing to, were not coming forth to, put the culprit behind, not punish the culprit, but they were trying to shield the culprit. So I think an impression got created that the government is not very committed to the women's safety. So I think women's safety became a big issue, and that may have resulted into women voting against Trinamool Congress or not voting in favor of Trinamool Congress in such a big way as they had voted in 2021.
Can I also propose one more reason, and I'd like to get your views on it? The West Bengal election has actually been on the ground a very communally polarized election. Do you think that also played a part, because in some ways the gender factor and the communal factor kind of work at cross purposes with each other? When we say men vote for BJP and women vote for Trinamool, we're actually talking of the Hindu community, right? Because I think amongst the Muslim community, I think this gender divide really doesn't exist. Men and women both vote for Trinamool in some ways. So here we're actually talking of the 70% Hindu Bengali community. Do you think the communal factor played a part, like Hindu women went voted along with their men because of the communal divide that existed in West Bengal? Do you think that could also have been a factor?
Even among Hindu women, you will find that if you compare Trinamool Congress support base among Hindu men and Hindu women, so you will find Trinamool Congress support base slightly higher among Hindu women compared to Hindu men. So yes, safety, security, these are the issues. So you will find some divide among men and women, among both the communities, largely among the Hindus. But even among the Hindus, I get a sense that the tilt is slightly in favor of Trinamool Congress.
Even till now, in spite of whatever has happened.
Even till now.
Right. I want to come to this another West Bengal point, right? So a lot of the Trinamool support base was taken from the Muslim community, right? I think Muslims are by population 27%.
Yeah.
Maybe a little higher in the voter base. We actually don't know those numbers, but 27%. And I think your surveys itself have shown that a vast majority of Muslim votes go to Trinamool. Right, we can maybe pull up the figures.
In 2021 assembly election, 75%, as going by the survey findings, post-poll survey findings, 75% of Muslims had voted in favor of Trinamool Congress in 2021 assembly election. Even in the previous election, 2016 and 2011, similarly large proportion of Muslims had voted in favor of Trinamool Congress. So it is true.
And the obverse is also true that almost no Muslims vote for BJP in West Bengal.
Very difficult to say no Muslims vote, but it's a very small proportion,
number, right.
5, 6, 7% Muslims, and that applies to the Muslim vote across the country. Not that in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat and other states. In most of the states, a very small proportion of Muslim vote also goes to BJP for various local considerations. That seems to have happened even in this election in Bengal.
So do you think that this election in some ways is there was this idea that secular parties could win on the Muslim vote. Do you think this repudiates it? Is it not possible anymore to do it? We've seen it happen in Assam. Assam actually has, right now Jammu and Kashmir is not a state, so it is a state with the largest percentage of Muslims, right? But yet, I think the government that is being formed now for so many terms has almost no Muslim vote that's coming in. And now we have that in West Bengal, and we have that actually in many BJP ruled states. So do you think this, quote unquote secular model of actually getting a lot of Muslim votes and coming to power, is that now under a lot of strain? Has the BJP's success put this model under a lot of strain?
Absolutely. It's not only about West Bengal, it's not only about Assam. If you move state by state, and you will find that the way non-BJP party used to win elections and the way Muslim vote used to be polarized in favor of the non-BJP parties, resulting into the victory of non-BJP party, it used to be very high. Large proportion of Muslim vote used to go to the non-BJP party and non-BJP party used to win elections. That's not happening anymore because what's happening is that the non-Muslim vote is getting sharply mobilized by the BJP in different states. I prefer to use the word mobilization rather than polarization because they have been successful in mobilizing their vote. And why successful? Because they have been trying to send out a message that, look, if voters belonging to one community seems to be going on one side, supporting one political party, it is important for you to also think of, mobilizing in favor of the BJP, which is there to take care of the interest of the majority community.
And the opposition is unable to set out a narrative that cuts across this. For example, Mamata Banerjee is, I think, a very good example where, at least in the last election, she had the support of a lot of Hindu women, which it seems that she has lost, right?
Absolutely, she has lost.
And same with Assam. If you look at the Assam's Congress MLA list, it's just, there are very few non-Muslims in it, right? So is the opposition failing to send out a message that its support base, its policies, its agendas cut across communal lines?
Certainly, because if you look at how opposition parties are failing election after election, including the Congress, look at after 2024 election, all the elections have been mostly, barring, I am not referring to say Kerala or say Tamil Nadu, but Haryana, Maharashtra, Delhi, large number of elections have been all won by the BJP. So the non-BJP parties are finding it very difficult to send out a message. And what message? Because these are the parties which are tagged as parties which take care of the interest of the minority even at the expense of the genuine demands of the majority community. So they are finding it very difficult to shy away with this tag. They are finding it very difficult how to remove this tag. They find it very difficult to send out a message to the majority community that the party is there to take care of your interest as well. So even if you look at the ticket distribution or the campaign, the messaging, so this is becoming a difficult situation. The situation for the non-BJP party has become very difficult. How do they send out a message to the voters to indicate that this is the party which takes care of voters belonging to all caste community? A very difficult situation for non-BJP parties.
I want to come to another difficult situation of the opposition that is coming out of this election. The opposition, it seems, thought that welfare was its ticket. When you're saying, how would it overcome this communal divide? I think, at least for, say, if you look at Mamata Banerjee, I think one of the solutions she thought was welfare. If she did enough welfare, she could get enough votes from across the communal divide, and then she would form a government, which actually worked till 2021, right? It seems that has not worked this time, right? We've had two very welfareist governments, both in West Bengal, which is a poor state but does a lot of welfare, and Tamil Nadu, which is a rich state but also does a lot of welfare, being defeated. What's your message from this?
So the message is very clear, and I used to say earlier also, a party cannot keep winning election only because of the welfare schemes which they have doled out. If that was the case, then no political party would be able to lose election, because if you are in power, you can keep doling out different kinds of welfare schemes. So welfare scheme does help the ruling party in mobilizing additional votes or votes for the party. But welfare schemes alone cannot help you in winning election. That's the case what has happened in Tamil Nadu and in West Bengal. So what you need, a basic support base for political party, a basic, a decent approval for the work done by the incumbent party. If that's not there, it would be very difficult for the party to win election just on the basis of welfare scheme. Just to give an example of, like, it works like an icing on the cake. You need the cake first. You need the base of the cake, and then it's like putting cherries on the top of the cake. So welfare scheme helps, but like you cannot make a cake just based on cherry and the cream. You need the base.
You need the sponge, right?
Yeah, you need the sponge.
Right. Where do you see ideology in this sponge? How important is a party's ideology in baking this cake?
Ideology, I think, a very difficult term to use in Indian politics at the moment, and why I am referring to that it's a difficult term to be used in Indian politics currently. If you see that kind of defections taking place, or people moving from one party to another, extremely opposed ideology, and leaders are moving from one party to another. Even among the voters, if you look at the voters also, a massive shift from one party to another, and that's indicated by the vote share of the parties in two different elections. So I think people are redefining ideology in a different way. By ideology they mean what they get from the party by way of welfare, by way of what government has been able to do. They don't see ideology in terms of what we keep reading in the books, that this is the ideology of party A, party B and C. And they don't they don't align themselves to those ideology, while they would try and see how party has been able to perform on the ground. So they would actually keep that as the model of ideology, and they will keep shifting from one party to another.
So I want to dig deeper on that. So if we take the BJP, for example, BJP, as we all know, is a strongly ideological party. The party in a way comes out of the ideology, right? There's an ideology and then that gives birth to a party. And we've actually seen that sometimes the BJP performance can not be great. Like I think, in your home state, Sanjay, Bihar, I think there can be a lot of critiques of the BJP performance, right? But to me, it seems like when the BJP is in a tough spot, it is its ideological fidelity which kind of keeps its troops together. Do you not think that's true?
Discipline also.
Right.
Yes, what you have mentioned is right. First, I would like to contradict a little bit. You don't get this sense, talking to people in Bihar, that BJP, they would be criticizing BJP.
Right.
I think BJP is already on the up in Bihar. Election results have clearly shown, and the change of guards is an indication which way the wind is blowing in Bihar. People are appreciative because people are looking forward to a full-scale BJP government. That's the desire of from among a very large number of voters. I'm not saying everybody, but a very large number.
They don't want a coalition.
Yeah, now they aspire
Janata Dal,
independent BJP government in Bihar. So you mentioned about ideology, how even if BJP government has not been able to do well, but their supporters stick around the BJP. So one is ideology and also the discipline, because the party cadres are committed. You don't find, it would be very difficult to compare how committed are the party cadres of BJP compared to the party cadres of other political parties. So yes, ideology also.
Like, why are they committed? Because of ideology.
Yeah, because
right?
and that's what I was trying to say. Ideology keeps them, like in a group. That's the sticking point.
That's the glue. Right?
Yeah, that's the glue which keeps them together.
Let's stick with BJP. So the BJP in 2024, sorry, I was going to say 14, in 2024 actually lost its majority in the lower house of parliament, right? But if you look at its behavior, at its performance, at its policies, at the way it's going about governance since then, nobody would say this is a minority government, right? It is actually almost more aggressive than it was at least towards the end of its second term. Unpack this for us, Sanjay. What's happening?
I think BJP trying to send out a message that it's not the number by which they would be guided. They have their own policies and programs. This is the agenda on which they want to deliver. This is the promise which they had made to the voters of this country, and they would like to deliver those promises. Whether numbers are on their side or not, they would like to depend upon the allies. If for any of their programs and policies, allies are unhappy, they would like to discuss those matters with the alliance, with their alliance partner. But I think the agenda, the governance policy is clear. This is our governance model. This is what we want to do. This is what we want to deliver to the people. Number doesn't matter for us. We will go along with what we are committed to fulfilling.
So in a way, you're saying they're almost more aggressive because they don't have a majority, right? They're almost like trying to prove that numbers don't matter. We will do what we want.
What I'm trying to say is that they're trying to send out a message. We are not very worried about the numbers, that we don't have a majority government, we are a minority government, we are dependent upon support of our allies. What they're trying to send out a message, irrespective of the numbers, what we had promised to the voters of this country, we would try and fulfill that promise. When we were in a majority, like 2019 elections or 2014 Lok Sabha election, we tried to fulfill a lot of things. There are some things which are still unleft. Even though we don't have a majority of our own in the Lok Sabha, we will work the way we have been working since 2014. So I think that's a message which is very clear they are trying to send out to the voters of this country.
I want to come to the main opposition party, the Congress. The Congress, from what I understand, based on my conversations with Congress people, is actually somewhat happy with what happened on the 4th of May. Why do you think that is?
I don't get a sense that Congress people are happy, but if you get a sense, I might try to figure out what may be the reason. One reason is very obvious. See, if you look at West Bengal, they hardly had a say in West Bengal. In Tamil Nadu, they were a very junior partner.
But they might be in alliance now with the TVK, so possibly.
So in in Tamil Nadu,
when was the last time they were in government in Tamil Nadu?
Don't remember.
Right.
We don't remember when they were in government on their own.
Right.
Long back.
Right.
Long back, maybe in the 60s. So they had very little chance in Assam. Honestly, they would say, you have been speaking to some of the leaders. If you talk to them, they will, I think in confidence, they will tell you that we had no chance in Assam.
It was a very well decided match.
Yeah, Puducherry, small state, also they were not in a close contest, I believe. So they are in a win-win situation because they managed to win Kerala, Keralam. And not with a small majority, but with a very big majority.
Yeah.
So one more state has come to their kitty. So they are now
and a rich state.
Rich or poor, I don't know.
Right.
But yes, Keralam.
Right.
So it gets added, one more state gets added to the list of states where Congress is in power, either alone or with the allies. One thing, I think maybe if some people are telling you that they are happy, so that's one reason. Another reason could be, if you look at the India alliance, there have been some noises now and then about should Rahul Gandhi lead the India alliance or not, is Rahul Gandhi capable of leading, and at times there used to be talk about should Stalin lead the alliance, should Mamata Banerjee lead the alliance. Now after both of them getting defeated, I think this discussion will not come to an end, but at least that will there will be a big pause on that discussion. So no challenge to Rahul Gandhi's leadership within India alliance, though India alliance seems to be weaker now compared to the past.
That's an interesting takeaway. You're saying India alliance is weaker, but within the India alliance, Congress is stronger. Did I get that right?
No, absolutely, because it's like a team which has become weak. So the other players of the team are not in a good form. So the captain looks more formidable. If the other players are performing very well compared to the performance of the captain, so the captain is under some pressure. So the captain of India alliance would be seen as more strong, more powerful, because the team players have become weaker.
You're saying this is a very bad result for the India opposition alliance as a whole.
No, absolutely. If you look at all the states, there are only 2 states now where India alliance partner are in government. One in Jharkhand and the other is Punjab. At the moment, we don't know whether TVK is going to come to the India alliance or not. But at this moment, there are only 2 states where India alliance partner are in government. This is not a good news for the India alliance partner. And these are also not big states, small states, not as big as if you compare it with, say, Tamil Nadu or West Bengal. So earlier, the 2 big alliance partner of India alliance were in the government in West Bengal and Tamil Nadu. So in that respect, India alliance certainly has become much weaker.
So BJP will be doubly happy, not only with their good performance, but it seems with the hobbling of the main opposition.
I don't think that BJP was very worried about the India alliance as such.
To begin
with. But I think certainly there is a moment of extra happiness for BJP, because the India alliance partner, their partners are losing state after state. So they would also be looking at these numbers. They may also be looking at the situation within the India alliance partner, what is happening. So because we all know that a big resistance to BJP was coming from Mamata Banerjee, West Bengal, and also from Stalin. If you look at the number of MPs they had sent to the 2024 Lok Sabha election, a very large number of MPs were sent by the 2 states within the India alliance bloc. So now they have become weak. They have lost power. So yes, some extra moment of happiness for BJP.
In fact, I would add the destruction of these 2 parties one is numbers, as you very correctly pointed out. But I would also add that it also wipes away an ideological opposition for the BJP, especially the DMK, the federalist thing that it brought in. It was very interesting. They constantly attacked the BJP, although the BJP is not a part of that state, because I think they benefited from attacking the BJP. And it seems like the AIDMK lost out by seeming to be an ally or almost a junior ally of the BJP somehow. So it's especially in Tamil Nadu, this is a big thing. In West Bengal also, Mamata Banerjee tried to make it a big thing, probably did not succeed.
Yeah, because both the parties, while they were trying to send out a message to their own voters, and both the parties were trying to attack the BJP on different accounts. Yes, Mamata Banerjee was attacking BJP because BJP was the contender for power in West Bengal before the election. Now they have captured power, they have won the election. In Tamil Nadu, even though BJP was not a formidable force, but I think most of the attack, or a very large proportion of criticism DMK was doing, was of the BJP government at the center, and he was trying to play the federal card about the delimitation, about the population policies, etc.
Final question, Sanjay, a little bit into the future. The next general election, do you see the BJP facing any roadblocks, or is it all clear from now?
Next Lok Sabha election is 2029. Very difficult. It's like a weather forecast. If you ask me to, if you ask the same question to the weatherman, call them up and say, so what's going to, whether it will rain on 10th of June in 2029 or not, I don't think they would be able to give you an answer, clear answer to that. It would be similarly, it's going to be very difficult for me to give you an answer. But yes, some trends and patterns. If you go by the current situation, BJP's resistance from India alliance partner seems to be less now compared to what BJP saw or BJP faced in 2024, because all the alliance partners have become weaker except Congress, because Congress, when before 2024 Lok Sabha election, Congress was much weaker. Now Congress has a 99 MPs in the parliament. But overall, I do get a sense, going by the current situation, current political equation, BJP would go into the 2029 Lok Sabha elections with more comfort, more ease compared to what was the situation before 2024 Lok Sabha elections.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us on Scroll, Sanjay.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Remember, if you like the journalism that we do, go to scroll.in/contribute.